2. Swung on to right. Caught by the second baseman, Aaron Payne. It's a no-hitter for the freshman, Jordan Spencer. He has done it. He has done it. The freshman from Beaverton High School.
Hey Duck fans, welcome to yet another FishDuck weekly vlog. What a week it was in Duck sports. Let's not waste any time, jump right into it. So there were a couple monumental events in the history of Oregon Ducks athletics that occurred this week. First, on Saturday, the women's lacrosse team clinched the MPSF regular season title. That is the first conference title for women's lacrosse in school history. Before that, baseball made history as well, when infielder turned pitcher Jordan Spencer threw the first no-hitter in school history since the program was reinstated in 2009, leading Oregon to a 3-0 win over Portland in Kaiser, Oregon. It was the 5th shutout of the year. And it appears that Duck fans are finally waking up to the fact that, Oregon baseball is really special. Coach Horton has something unique going on here. Fans love a winner. And while normally all focus would be on the upcoming spring football game, baseball is starting to turn heads right now. They've climbed all the way to 8th in the polls with realistic aspirations of reaching Omaha. A team people thought were still rebuilding is in first place in the conference in a very difficult Pac-12. What a job by Coach Horton and his team. And also on the diamond, on Saturday, Oregon softball made a big splash as well, defeating the #1 ranked Cal Bears. Softball's win was one of 9 events that are taking place on the University of Oregon campus over the course of this weekend. And so far, hey, the Ducks are shining. Aside from the #14 ranked Ducks softball team and Oregon's lacrosse sealing the conference victory, also taking place on campus were the Oregon Relays at Hayward on Friday and Saturday, and the Oregon track teams continue to prove that they are among the elite in the nation. Now there were the predictable top finishes by Breanne Thiessen and English Gardner and Jordan Hesse, as the trio seemed destined to lead Oregon to an indoor national championship this year. A familiar name for football fans made quite a showing as well when Dior Mathis won the 100 meters with a time of 10.65. So between Oregon's track and field dominance, lacrosse winning a conference title, baseball getting a no-hitter, and softball defeating the #1 team in the country, it was a pretty darn good week to be an Oregon Duck. So how does the University of Oregon Athletics top that? Well, all eyes will be on next Saturday. That'll be the final day of the championships for acrobatics and tumbling. And it's a pretty good bet that the UO squad will be back-to-back national champs, bringing home the 21st team NCAA national championship in school history. The events are taking place at the Baylor campus in Waco, Texas. We should hear who won right about the time that something else is taking place on the University of Oregon campus on Saturday, the Oregon football spring game.
I think that spring football is an opportunity to teach, really teach fundamentals, and I think you'd be getting away from what the emphasis is, and no matter what coaches say, well, we're just going to treat it as a teaching opportunity.
Yes, it is almost time for the spring game, with added interest and intrigue this year to the normal festivities because practices have been closed to fans and the media. So what exactly has been going on? We don't quite know beyond what's been said in post-practice interviews, and a lot of coach speak comes out of those. Oh yeah, we are all looking forward to Oregon Ducks spring football. Now the rosters have been divided into the green and white teams. Remember to bring some canned food items with you to gain entrance to the stadium. I'm going to be there. I'm flying up from Los Angeles for the game, so be sure to look for the KEERRTT jersey in the stands and come say hi. I am, of course, very excited to see Marcus Mariota in action, as well as our first glimpse of Eric Armstead and the highly touted redshirt receivers from last year, Devon Blackman, BJ Kelly, and Tekoy Sumler. As for the game itself, no matter what happens, Oregon will win the day, so let's hope that Oregon gets out of the game with no injuries. That's the most important thing. Also, don't forget that the day after the spring game, next Sunday, April 29th, there will be a video shoot for Mallard Muscle Entertainment's new Duck Anthem for 2012. You may remember their song O Time from last year, and they're going bigger and better this time around. So Everyone is supposed to meet up at 2 p.m. outside of Matt Knight Arena. Be there if you're in town to be a part of Oregon history.
Players like Cash Pick 6 got it on lock, though. The cheese on the nachos make it hot, bro. Len and Chip Kelly might as well have won the lotto. Duck T Dino tomorrow be the motto. And if you ain't putting in work, get off the block, bro. Got those top flight recruit blue chippers, heavy hitters, realizing Oregon's for winners.
As for FishDuck.com, we've made a few changes to the site that you may have noticed. First, we upgraded and updated our playbook section. That is our index of content that has appeared on the site. It's a directory of all of our articles, videos, and everything else. We also added more icons for our social media sites. FishDuck.com has a vast social media reach. We're on 45 sites and growing. If you're social media savvy, you can now find the direct links to all of our profiles on the front page, so be sure to follow us. On Tuesday, Charles had his first tutorial video out this year. It was a breakdown of Oregon's universal formation. So for those who've been wishing that we went into more of a detailed format with our videos, hey, you got your wish. We also had a cool interview with Dan Rubenstein, co-host of the Solid Verbal podcast and SB Nation's new video programming. He's an Oregon grad and proud and vocal Duck fan and a very funny guy. Of course, our daily articles had a great response. In particular, David Mello's Thursday interview with recent graduate and NFL hopeful Darian Weems. That is a must-read. Please check it out. It was from Thursday. We did address the ESPN article that came out this week that attacked Oregon for supposedly rampant drug use among its players. But I think we took a slant that others may not have seen, so please check out Kennard's article from Friday and Steve Maher's article today that addresses the sensitive issue of drug use and the hypocrisy of the ESPN article.
Has this article been addressed with you guys?
You know, yes, Coach Kelly talked about it, and I mean, for us, it wasn't. There's really no problem. I mean, for us, you know, it really comes down to just making decisions, and we know that here in Eugene, you know, whatever decision we make, people we're living in a fishbowl, and you know, any decision we make will be highlighted by the media, or you know, any negative will be portrayed through the media. So we just have to be smart with a decision.
And now our random tweet of the week.
Hey, will you shut up?
Thank you.
Time for my weekly music recommendation. Now, Coachella is still taking place. They're doing an encore weekend this week, but YouTube isn't streaming the encore this weekend, unfortunately, so it's back to talking about individual artists for me. This week, say hello to a Canadian duo, JAPANDROIDS. JAPANDROIDS formed in Vancouver, British Columbia in 2006, released their debut album in 2009, and are now releasing their follow-up record this summer on Polyvinyl Records. The band almost broke up at the end of 2008 following festival appearances including CMJ Music Marathon, but their debut record, called Post Nothing, was so well received that they were convinced to stick it out and quickly gained notoriety for their energetic live shows and booming sound. They've appeared on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon and Last Call with Carson Daly, and if the early tracks that have been leaked thus far from their upcoming June release are any indication, they're poised to become big, big stars. Here's my favorite new track from their upcoming record. It's called The House That Heaven Built. The album will be out in June of 2012. Check it out. So that does it for me this week. Thank you for watching, as always. I'll be flying up to Eugene on late Thursday night, and we'll be making the rounds, hitting up all my favorite local food spots that I miss out on being here in Los Angeles. Looking forward to some Cart to Frisco, some Hawaiian time, and of course hitting up a few tailgaters on Saturday and the video shoot on Sunday. So until then, this is Kurt saying go fish, get hooked, go Ducks.